Hey guys, welcome back to Tony the Technician. So today we're going to be moving on to installing the cylinder heads on our 350. Got everything in, basically had everything since day one, but I was waiting on my Permatex thread sealant, which I just got in. I think it was yesterday or the day before, but I've been busy. So I finally got to it, and I'm going to show you how to install the heads today. I've also been wanting to do my toolbox tour, but I wanted to wait on parts. I've had the toolbox for about a month now, but I didn't want to show you a toolbox tour of like a couple tools inside of a big ass toolbox. So I was waiting on a bunch of my tools and stuff to come in, and it's basically complete now. I should just make one now because it's literally going to be a never-ending process of buying tools. So as soon as my next wrench set comes in, I will be doing the video, so it should be done this week. But anyways, onto the heads. So there's going to be a few things that you're going to need. One of the major things is before you install the head, you want to make sure not only is the head clean, but the block, because you want a good true mating surface in between the gasket and the head and the gasket and the deck. You also want to clean out the bolt holes to make sure you get a good torque on those. So just go over it with some brake cleaner with a rag, just standard brake cleaner. Clean off the deck and the heads. That's what I'm going to do right after this. I'm going to clean off the heads. I'm not going to show you me cleaning the heads because I cleaned them after I got done porting them, but just a safety precaution, they have been sitting for about a week. Just get all the extra crap off of them, make sure they're clean. After you get done cleaning the block, deck, and the heads, obviously you will need your head gaskets. These are part 1003, and make sure when installing them you have the side that says up facing towards the head. I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but they should be engraved into the gasket. I'll give you the part number for the gasket set that I ordered for the entire engine rebuild. I got it off of Summit. It's part number 2603013. So that'll be the part number if you want the entire kit. It's a really nice kit. Comes with a couple different oil pan gasket sets and every gasket that you'll need in order to do the engine rebuild. Also for this, you'll need the Permatex thread sealant. These will go on your head bolts on the threads. And then I ordered the ARP head bolt set for my engine. They suggest, this thread sealant on the threads of the bolt, and then they also supply a lubricant for in between the washer and the head. The part number for this set is 1343601. It runs about $85, but it's a really nice kit. So it has installation instructions, a little sticker. Here's the assembly lube that they provide you with for the washer. Then it gives you the bag of all the washers, and then it gives you all the lengths for the head, from all the small ones to all the large ones. They're all half-inch heads. So another thing you'll need is your half-inch socket, possibly an extension, your torque wrench, and that's basically it. You guys know how in the past previously I've stated when you're torquing something you want to do it in 3 increments. Say it's 30 foot-pounds, you would do 10 foot-pounds, 20 foot-pounds, and then the final 30 foot-pounds. Well, the head bolts are 65 foot-pounds for the overall total torque. I was reading in my book that I showed you in one of my previous videos, and instead of doing it in equal 3 increments, it is going to be 3 separate torques, but you're going to start at 25 foot-pounds, and then you're going to bump up 20 foot-pounds, so 45 foot-pounds, and then another 20 to your final 65 foot-pounds. And then I'll also show you the torque pattern for the heads. Let's see if I can get this. So here's the torque pattern. Let's see if I can get a closer image. So you're going to be starting from the center of the head and just going in a circle and working your way out. If you need to, you can pause this video, or you can just look up small block Chevy cylinder head torque pattern, and you can find it on Google or wherever. But once again, this is a great book, lots of great information. Want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. I believe I've covered it all, but before I get on to showing you guys how to actually install the heads, I'm going to pull the heads up here and actually start cleaning them. Make sure everything's clean, then I'll clean off the deck, and then I'll finally show you guys how to install the heads. Okay, so just got done cleaning up my heads for the final time. Just wanted to make sure everything was spotless and clean. Made sure I didn't leave anything behind before installing the heads. So I just spent about 30 minutes to an hour on the head that I'm going to show you. I'm not going to show you how to install both heads. I'm just going to show you one. It's the exact same process for the other side. Another thing is, make sure your gaskets are clean and free of debris. So preferably keep them in the case until you are ready to use them. Make sure you have the right one. Make sure it's facing up. Go ahead and lay it on your block, and then you'll see two dowel pins, one on each side of the block, or the front and the back. That will actually hold your head on. Also, be very careful when installing your head. Do not drop it. That's a big no-no. But mine are cast iron, so they are heavier. They're pretty heavy. I would like aluminum heads, but the heads that I have are great. I'm happy with them, and cast iron is just fine, just a little bit heavier. So let me show you that. I'm going to go ahead and lay the gasket and then install the head. Let's get to it. Alright, so here's my head that I'm going to be installing. Make sure you have the right head for the right side. I marked mine with tape as soon as I took them off. It's pretty easy to find out since my other one still has the bolt in it for the pulley system. So it's pretty easy to tell that that one goes on the left side with the bolt facing forward for the pulley system. This one I had a piece of tape on one of the valves with an R on it, so I knew it went on the right side. It's pretty easy to tell even if you don't mark them, but it makes it easier. Okay, so I just got done cleaning off the deck with brake cleaner. Made sure everything's off. I took my vacuum cleaner to it as well. Another thing, when you're cleaning stuff with brake cleaner, such as your deck or your head, you want to make sure that it's preferred that you use something of a fabric like cotton, or like a little towel over shop towels or regular paper towels, because especially when you use brake cleaner will start to eat away at the rag as well as paint and stuff like that. So I did use the shop towels, so I just went back through with my shop vac and made sure I got everything that was left behind from the shop towel. It's preferred that you use an actual fabric towel, so if that's easier for you, go ahead and do that, but make sure that you get everything clean. All right, now that I have this clean, I'm gonna go ahead and get my gasket. It says up right there, so that side is gonna be facing up. There's the part number if you can read it. It's a Felpro. And here's the dowels I was talking about. There's a dowel pin there and a dowel pin there. When you lay your gasket on, you'll go over the dowel pins, push it on, make sure it's nice and flat. There's your gasket install. Pretty simple. With the head gaskets, you do not need RTV or anything like that. This is a really nice head gasket. I'm really happy with it. So it's as easy as just grabbing your head now, being very careful not to drop it, and lining it up with these dowel pins. It's probably best to have your head studs already prepped. I'm about to do that now. Lay them out, get your thread sealant on them, and get your lubricant on the washers and bolts. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now, and then we'll get the head on. Okay, like I stated before, I have my head all cleaned up. Got the ARP bolts out that I'm gonna need. You're gonna have 8 for the bottom, which will be along here, and then 7 of the long ones and 2 mid-range. The 7 long ones are gonna go in the center here, and the 2 mid-length will be one on the end here and one on the end here. Now, when prepping your bolts, you're going to want to use this assembly, fastener assembly lube on the washers and the bolt heads on the bottom. As you can see, I've already put some on each bolt head. And then these washers actually have a taper to them. And the instructions, if you can see that taper, because the other side does not have it. This side goes towards the head of the bolt. So you want to put the lubricant on the side that will be facing the bolt head. And then once you get all the lube on the bolts and washers, you'll go ahead and put all the washers on, and then we're ready to install the head. I just wanted to show you guys that's how you do the ARP head bolts, because I know a lot of videos of people installing heads that don't actually show you, because putting these washers could void warranty and create problems. So there you go. I'm gonna go ahead and put the washers on the bolts, and then we'll get the head installed. Okay, so got the Permatex thread sealant on all of my ARP head bolts for the right head. Another thing I wanted to mention about the lubricant, make sure to only use half of it. I still have half of the lubricant. You don't want to be going messing yourself up by using too much lubricant on these and not having enough for your other head. So just make sure to save yourself some for the other head. Sorry about the plane passing over. So they say you can use this lubricant or torque. Let me take a look. ARP thread sealer or ultra torque when you have head bolts that don't go into a coolant passageway. But I'm pretty sure a majority of my head bolts do go into a coolant passageway, and it's always good to just use the Permatex thread sealant. It's amazing stuff. It'll prevent leaks. It's absolutely fantastic. So make sure you get a nice coat on all of your threads. You got your lubricant on your washers and the heads, the bottom of the heads of the bolts, and now we can actually put the head on. I'm not too sure if I can set the camera up, but let me see if I can get it set up so you guys can see. Okay guys, so you just want to grab your head, make sure everything's clean. You got your gasket on, you got your head, you got to line your head up with the dowel pins. There's one, there's 2. Now you want to grab your bolts and start a couple of them just to make sure your head stays. Alright, hopefully you guys can see. Got a couple bolts started. I'm going to go ahead and install the rest of the bolts, just hand tight, and then I'll show you guys the actual process of installing the head. But that's it. You just got to set your head on the 2 dowel pins. It rests there, and then you can start all your bolts. Alright, so just got the head installed. Nothing's torqued down yet, just got all the bolts started, and then I went through with my just regular ratchet and my 1/2" socket and literally just turned them until they stopped turning. Just spun it until it stopped. No pressure whatsoever, just snug the head down. Now I'm about to grab my torque wrench and actually start torquing them down. I'm going to start at 25 foot-pounds. This is number 1, 2, 3. But like I said before, I showed you that picture on the torque pattern, or you can look it up on Google by typing in small block Chevy Gen 1, Gen 2, whatever small block you have, and you can find the torque pattern for the heads. I'm going to go ahead and torque mine down to 25, then 45, and then finally 65, and then we're basically done with this head. Okay guys, so just torqued everything to 45. Just now I hit 25, did the 45. Now I have my torque wrench set at 65. Sorry if you can't read that. And now I'm going to do the final torque. Like always, after I get done torquing everything to 65, I will go back a second time and check 65. And it also makes sure that I hit all of them, just in case. You could use a 1/2-inch torque wrench, but I'm okay with the 3/8. It's not too bad. It's only 65 foot-pounds, so. Just remember the pattern. It's pretty simple once you start going. And you're just going to keep working your way around until you get all the way around. And then, if you're like me, you want to go back and double check everything. That's just an extra step to save yourself. That's basically it. I'll talk to you guys once I get done torquing this head down. Alright guys, so I got my other head installed. Both heads are on the engine. Everything's torqued down to 65 foot-pounds. So today we went over cleaning the heads and the block, make sure everything's spotless, laying the gasket the right direction, making sure you have the heads on the right sides, keeping parts organized. That's a big thing, especially if you're reusing head bolts or anything like that. I know a lot of people prefer you buy new head bolts, which is what I did, but some people are on a budget, and if you're reusing them, make sure you keep everything organized. Clean the heads, clean the block, lay the gasket. No sealant is needed. Torqued everything to 65 foot-pounds. Showed you how to put the washers on the ARP bolts and the Permatex thread sealant. If you guys have any questions about any of that, please let me know. Another thing, that lubricant that you use on the head bolts, that stuff is a lot like anti-seize. Like, you know, if you've ever gotten it on your hands, you know how hard it is to get anti-seize off. So I would suggest nitrile gloves or you know, latex gloves, something to keep your hands out of that crap. Another thing is your tools are also getting dirty. Some people, they're like, oh, tools are tools, you know, but if you're a beginner or advanced in automotive, I believe, and a lot of people I know will agree with me, it is very important to take care of your tools, whether it's Pittsburgh or Stanley, all the way up to Snap-on, Matco, all those things. It doesn't matter, whatever you can afford. If you want it to last, you got to take care of it. Not just not beating the crap out of them or whatever, throwing them if you get aggravated, but also when you're done using them, cleaning them. I use WD-40 on all my tools, everything. For one, it keeps them looking good and clean. Some people don't care about that, I do. But another thing is, it also resists rust, so you won't have crappy looking tools and malfunctioning tools. So that's just a little tip I would like to give you guys. Keep everything clean, take care of your stuff. It doesn't matter who you are, what tools you buy, whatever you can afford, whatever you can work with, just make sure you take care of them. So here's the engine with both heads on. Sorry, I'm trying to use the front camera and show you guys. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but got that all together now. I'm waiting for some what, I can't even remember the name of it. It's a break-in lube, basically. Like I have my assembly grease, I ordered break-in lube just because I want to coat my lifters, push rods, all that, my cam, all of that. I want to have that on the parts of the engine, so when I do start it, it's a good break-in. So I'm waiting on that, and then we will install the intake manifold, carburetor. There's really not much left, guys. Basically installing the intake manifold and then getting the carb and distributor put on. That's basically it, and then I'll show you guys how to install roller rockers as well and how to tighten those down. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any questions, comments, please let me know, leave a comment below. And if you guys can think of any improvements for my videos, I've been trying to record a little bit more of what I'm doing and everything. So if you guys have any tips for me, I would appreciate them. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. Thank you guys.